Hi. Oh, there we go. Very good.
So I
Hey,
guess we're starting, but I think what's important is to say we're recording this and it's going on our YouTube channel.
Right.
So subscribe, re-listen. If you didn't catch the whole thing, because sometimes we speak a little fast. Sometimes the concept is just moving and flowing. You can re-listen to it.
We'll put the link down below this live in Facebook, or yeah, but we'll have to remind everybody at 7 o'clock Eastern time, we are going to stop recording. We are going to stop going live in Dockside, and we are going to be solely in our private Zoom room to segue into our Rich Thinking to Grow book club, which is every Wednesday at 7. And if you haven't registered, hate to sound like I'm repeating the same things over and over to you guys, but you have to register to get the link. So we'll see you there. We hope. We want to spend some time with you.
Yes, we do.
And it's not too late to register. Go to the website, look for the tab. If you don't have the link, Rich Thinking to Grow, because we won't get to that link right now in Facebook because we're going right to book club.
And I won't take over this, but I would just want, my sister just texted me. She's a Sage Navigator, and she was just sending her apologies. She can't make tonight. And it just reminded me, and Karen, you're so good at that, telling everybody the so-called rules, but there really are no rules. I was like, no problem if you can't make book club tonight. It's just fine. It isn't recorded. You can't actually get any, sort of recording back again, but it doesn't mean that you really, fall behind, or that you're always welcome to just jump in whenever and however you can. And you'll always get something out of it.
Yes, you definitely will. Absolutely agree. And there's no behind, it's just catching up. And if you miss
no homework,
it was not intended for you, that message. So you will hear what's intended for you.
Right. And if everybody and she also was reminding, are we doing Think and Grow Rich in the book club, or are we doing something else? And I had to remind her, we're doing the Science of Getting Rich. Sorry, I bit my sticky notes. And anyway, Science of Getting Rich is what we do at book club. But right now, what are we talking about, girls?
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
Where are we starting? What are we discussing tonight?
Well, we're talking about the second step to riches. And faith. Yes, faith. I like faith. And I have to tell you, I just finished up a 15-minute presentation on applied faith. So it's very exciting what you can look forward to coming into the future, because Napoleon Hill has 17 principles of success. But in Think and Grow Rich, he covers the 13 steps towards riches. So not to mix the two, we're talking about faith, which is the second step towards riches. And it is a part of applied faith. But there's more, and there's always more. And especially if you're with us, you'll always get more. So I guess for me, it's a well-known fact that one comes finally to believe, and I'm quoting it, so I don't want to misquote it, comes right from the book, finally to believe whatever one repeats to oneself, whether the statement is true or false. I think that is so powerful.
Okay, wait, say it again, Katherine, please. You went past me.
Karen, I think you have that in front of you. Do you, Karen Postema?
Yeah.
You repeat it. A different voice.
Perfect. Different voice. It is a well-known fact that one comes finally to believe whatever one repeats to oneself, whether the statement be true or false. And how true is that when you say, like, somebody, even not just to yourself, but that somebody else repeats to you? You're going to finish by believing what they say to you.
For better or worse.
That's right.
Which is why Katherine always tells me not to keep telling myself that I have a terrible memory.
What's going to happen? Even if you don't, you will.
Right. Exactly.
You're going to develop exactly what you're asking for.
I know.
Just keep asking.
I correct myself all the time now, simply because you pointed that out to me. It's important.
It is.
I have a great mind. I value my mind most, and I do have a great mind. It's not out of arrogance. My mom raised me telling me how smart I was every day. And even when she was mad at me, you smarty pants, you know everything. When I found out the secrets that I don't want to share here, because you never know if children are listening, but there's secrets in the world that we want our children to believe in things that aren't always faith. You want to believe in things. So like the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy and all those things are real for me. They really are real.
Of course.
I believe. And you know what? That's the whole thing. And anytime something was not necessarily real, and I always caught her. Like I did dates. Like I'm very proud to say my mom was pregnant when she got married. And in today's age, it means nothing. But in that age, as an Irish Catholic, it meant everything. And I remember on her 25th anniversary saying, well, I don't think I'm a mistake. So we're celebrating it on the right day. And my grandmother from Ireland was like, no, we're not. And I say, oh, yes, we are. I'm not a mistake. And you know what? And my mom's, when I found out and did the dates, I calculated dates. I said, well, either I'm adopted or there's something funny here. And I was like 12. She said, you're such a smarty pants. So even when she was insulting me, she told me I was smart. So of course, I think I have a great mind. I was raised to be told I have one. So what are you telling people about? What are you telling yourself? Right?
First and foremost, what are you telling yourself? If every time you make a little tiny mistake and you say, oh, you're such an idiot, why do you do that all the time? Oh, no, don't. And I catch people on that often, and I say, hey, don't talk to my friend like that, because I wouldn't talk to you like that, and I'm not going to let you talk to you like that. Right. So yes, and if you hear it, remind the people that you're hearing, because those are, they plant seeds, those things.
And especially with the next point we would have brought up, right?
Right.
Because,
thoughts mixed with any of the feelings and emotions constitute a magnetic force which attracts from the vibrations of the ether other similar or related thoughts. So positive attracts positive and negative attracts negative. So you want to be saying those positive things and put those vibrations in the positive dimension or direction so that you're attracting positive.
We say that, and I have that example for me. I think of the invisible thread. So you know how if you ever watch Superwoman or Wonder Woman, and I always mix them all up, but one of the superheroes, they have that gold thing that they wrap the rope of truth, the gold, wrap the, what's that, the lasso.
The lasso.
Thank you. The lasso, they wrap her up and they tell the truth. So I want you to imagine your thought, this wonderful thought. And anybody listening, take a minute. Follow me on the journey. And I want you to think something, anything you really want. It doesn't have to be your big purpose, something you want today. Like it's Karen Fostima's anniversary. What would you like today? So think about today. What would you like? And I want you to imagine that thought is an invisible golden thread going right up to the universe so that it can land right down back on your lap. And that is the law of attraction, the thread.
And the feeling that you put with it.
So how did you feel when I just shared the golden thread that you can get anything you want just by putting it out there?
Well, you visualize it, and it's very exciting and tingly, I guess is a good way to describe it. But I guess we're all familiar with adding that feeling to it and visualizing. And I can imagine so much that I can smell, I can put every one of my senses to what I'm imagining. So that's very easy for me then to feel it.
So
definitely.
Why do we say that? And it's interesting because I just did my presentation on applied faith, and anybody that knows me, imagine I had to put 56 slides into 20. Do you know how hard it was? It was difficult. However,
I'm laughing because I know how hard it is. Because when we've done some of our programs and you've got about 40 slides, and I say to Katherine, We only have 45 minutes to deliver this. And if you do 2 minutes on each slide.
Besides the fact that I'm going to overwhelm people, right? We overwhelm. I'm going to
so much stuff.
overwhelm people.
You have so much stuff.
So that being said, I really want to get to this message because it was so powerful. What I didn't realize, Napoleon Hill says, if you don't believe in a supreme being, if you don't believe in infinite intelligence, if you don't believe in God or the universe, that there's something out there waiting for you to connect with, then you can't have faith. So I'm not telling you have to believe in God, but I'm telling you better believe.
Some higher power.
Well, and actually, the last time we had this conversation about faith, I don't remember, or maybe it was Haley, I don't remember, but somebody came up with it. When you use the word faith as more of an adjective, like I had, or more of a noun, I had faith that I'm going to catch the bus tomorrow, or I had faith, like the actual word faith, rather than being a spirit or a religion or a universe, just the word itself as more of a noun, that you have faith, you have something tangible, physical that you can hold on to. That is faith. That made me think of it a little bit differently, I'll be honest.
It does. It's an action, right? It's
Yeah.
faith in, applied faith is a faith in action. Action. The action is the part. You have a definite purpose, and so you have a purpose, you have a goal, and it's in action.
Yeah.
It gives you that faith. So that's very interesting, because when you think about it and you think about getting what you want in life, you want to be clear and you want to take action. And you're right. Love is the same thing. Somebody can say, oh, I love you, but they can act like they love you. Wow. Means more. So that's
imagine that kiss from your partner. You can have a peck on the cheek, or a very different kind of kiss, and both of them just convey something totally different.
Yeah.
I don't need to go into detail. We all know what it feels like.
No, and the journalist in me, I had to confirm that faith is both a noun and a verb, just so you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And how you act with it is so that's why they added applied faith, to make it an action, right? Probably. It's very interesting, all of it. So what's the next point we want to share tonight?
Any thought, idea, plan, or purpose which one holds in one's mind attracts from the vibrations of the ether a host of its relatives, adds these relatives to its own force, and grows until it becomes the dominating, motivating master of the individual in whose mind it has been housed. So you think about something and you focus on it and you hold it in your brain and you constantly think about it, then it will attract more and more and more to it until it becomes.
Yeah, so it starts with a noun and then you add the verb, which is the action. And now all of a sudden it becomes
the motivating master of the individual.
I love that. So, and when you think about the forces, because they talk about, I know we're not talking about mastermind tonight, but they talk about masterminds and tapping in, because it comes from something third, from the ether, from the universe, from outside. But I sort of chuckled reading Think and Grow Rich when I imagined that I wanted to get something done. And I created a board of directors, because most people know what that is, right? Governing board in a business. Mm-hmm. And at my table, I had Gandhi, and I had Thomas Edison, and I had Henry Ford, and they were all sitting in a spot at my table, guiding me to what I wanted to do. And, I started then to research what they did, because I wanted to know, how did they think? But you don't even have to do that. All you have to do is put yourself in the energy, and all of a sudden you'll be guided, and you don't know where the answers. Have you ever thought of something, had a problem, and like Thomas Edison went to bed and got up, and all of a sudden, I have the solution? Where did it come from? Right? but
Your
you
brain
believe.
has an interesting way of solving problems, particularly when you give it space and time to rest. And that's when inspiration comes or ideas come. Why? Because that's when they can wiggle their way in.
Yes, that's when they're less busy. They're at a space of calm. And you believe. If you don't believe, then forget it. Doesn't matter where you are. And I guess that's why, right?
Exactly. And also, if you do it with emotion and it's negative emotion, I'm going to go with it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, I love this. Somebody says, I have a goal card. I have that already. I worked on my goal card. I have a goal card. Yeah, perfect. You got your goal card. Perfect. Yes. And I read it in the morning and I read it at night. Oh, yes, you're doing it all right, aren't you? I'm doing it perfect. I don't need any help. Perfect. How do you handle that goal card? Well, it's very simple. I take the card out, I look at it. My goal, A, B, C, D, and I am A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Perfect. Okay, universe, I did my goal. I've been doing that for a month. How come it's not here? I did my goal. I wrote it out and I read it. I read it in the morning and I read it in the day. But I only did 0.6 of the chapter on definiteness of purpose. I didn't do the rest. That's why in book club, what do? We actually take a little piece and say, this is how you apply it. And then you don't have to apply it if it doesn't work for you. Like you've watched me, and both of you have watched me do this, but it says to do something for 30 minutes. And I say, okay, I tried that. I don't need 30 minutes. No, there's something, I'm going to do it for 10 minutes. 10 minutes is enough. I tried the 30 minutes. I did the 30 minutes. And then I realized as long as I'm focused for 10 minutes, that's what I can do. Because some people can't do that for 30 minutes. They can't focus. Can you see me reading 30 minutes? What do you think is going to happen? I throw the book in the garbage before it's over.
But some people do need that 30 minutes and would benefit from it.
100%.
Yeah.
So if you can do it, do it. But if you can't do something, skip it, come back, you'll do it later. And that's why you're in a community with us.
But at the end of the day, it's always about making it your own and finding your own way. And if that 10 minutes works for you, perfect.
And you know what I would love if we can do for all the people in here wondering, should I join book club? I'm a little uncomfortable. How does it work? Am I going to want to do this? I would love us to do. I don't know. Do you have Think and Grow Rich with you, or which book do you have with you? Karine, which book do you have?
What do you mean? Think and Grow Rich, or are we talking science?
Okay, Think and Grow Rich, on the chapter on faith where they have that poem. If we can all do that, I would like to show an example of what we do in book club with that.
Yeah.
Like, so we're going to read for 20 minutes on the science of getting rich. And we're going to do that in this format. When we finish that, we're going to read a part of Think and Grow Rich, just to something we can apply in up to a page. And then we share. And we're going to give you an example of how it works. So who wants to see? We're all going to read. And this is how we do it in our club. You don't have to read, but this is an example of what we do. Karen, you'll after summarize how it works. But if the three of us can just read this in the format we do in book club. Okay.
Can I start? Can I just confirm that the poem begins, if you think you are beaten, you are? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to actually back up just a little bit and start here. Like the wind that carries one ship east and another west, the law of autosuggestion will lift you up or pull you down, according to the way you set your sails of thought. The law of autosuggestion, through which any person may rise to altitudes of achievement that stagger the imagination, I love that, is well described in the following verse, meaning the following poem. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but think you can't, it is almost certain you won't. Do you want to take a turn, Katherine?
So you would say pass in the club. And yes, thank you. But for people watching, so I'd say, if I didn't want to read, I would say pass.
If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out of the world we find, success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think you are outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Pass.
So now we go back to Karine, so she'll finish the poem.
Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but soon or late, the one who wins is the one who thinks he can.
So now we've read. What do we do next? We share our thoughts. So now what we would do is, if somebody has something to share, they share. So here we go. So let's share our thoughts. Karen.
Well, I'm going to share something, which is, it all sounds so logical, but it's something that I think we all need constant reminder of. Of course, if you think you can't do something, you're probably not going to do it, or certainly not going to try even. Right? So it really is. It's just, I love the ending is that the one who wins is the one who thinks he can win. Nobody goes into, you don't want to go into a race and think, probably not going to win. I guarantee you there's not a lot of professional athletes out there that are going to go playing their sport or running their race or whatever they're doing thinking, yeah, I really suck. I shouldn't be here. This is terrible.
Especially, yeah, because fear and faith can't hold the same space.
Right.
Hey, I just said something interesting. Space. So fear and faith can't hold the same space, which means if you can close the door to fear, just let it go. Faith will come right in because you've opened it to something else. Karen, yeah, and then we would go around and whoever would have something to say. Do you have something you want to add to that, Karen?
Well, I just like the fact that absolutely, I agree with what Karine said. And it is, they talk, you got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. And it's like Karine was saying, if you don't think you can win, but what happens if you get onto the field and you say, well, on paper, maybe I'm the underdog, but I'm sure going to give it a go. I'm going to give them their money's worth. And lo and behold, how many times do we see the underdog winning?
And you decide you want it. And you set this is the thing that stood out for me. We always set the bar so low because we think, oh, are we asking for too much? I want all of you to look out a window. If you're not near a window, imagine a window and then look out to the sky, because I'm going to tell you right now, that sky is vast and wide, and the sea, I'm looking at the water, that's pretty deep. I can't see the bottom of it. And that's how much is out there for you to just take your hand and say, I'd like some of that. So you can sign up. We're going into book club now. The people will be joining us. So we're going to stop recording. Sign up on the website and you'll get the link. Come in and join us. Try it for a month. It's free. And at the end of the month, if it's not for you, it's okay. And if it is for you, then you'll be invited to stay on with us for the price of going for a coffee. and this is the best coffee you'll ever have, I guarantee. So I'm
You'll feed yourself with this one. And I just also want to point out, when we do read, it's not usually for a small little paragraph like that. You'd read a little bit longer and then you'd pass, unless you get a cough or a frog in your throat or something like that. It was a sort of a simulation, but for anybody who wants to join in, it's not just reading one little paragraph.
If you're not ready to join because you want more information, we're all here. We're in the community doc side. All you have to do is say, reach out to us, DM us, put in the comments, more information, whatever you want, we're here. So I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to stop the live stream. I'm going to wish everybody a beautiful week, and we'll see you at the same time next week if you're not in book club.
Good night, everyone.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.